This is Joshua Hall's informative speech.
Many people have a general knowledge of nutrition and what it entails. Today I'd like to go over some fundamentals of nutrition as well as some common misconceptions. I will explain how nutrition plays a vital role in everyday life, but I also hope to leave you with a better understanding of how your body converts and uses food. As we all know, children tend to have a higher metabolism and therefore can generally eat whatever they want and not have to worry about too many of the consequences. As we get older, eating a well-balanced diet is critical to maintaining good overall health. This is one of the reasons why it is important to learn about the different forms of nutrients and their roles in maintaining good nutrition. I'd like to begin by covering macronutrients. While there are also micronutrients, which include vitamins and minerals, macronutrients are the big three. The big three macronutrients are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Everyone has a certain amount of calories and macronutrients they need daily to maintain their body weight and function properly. I'll start with protein. Proteins are involved in nearly every cell function. Most people think protein's primary function is to provide support for muscle growth by the processes of repairing and restoration. But protein also plays many other generally unknown essential roles in our bodies. Protein is involved in things such as structural support, regulation of body tissues and organs, and helps defend against pathogens. Protein is found in many foods such as eggs, meat, fish, nuts, and yogurts. Next, we look on to carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are building blocks of our body's fuel. Carbohydrates should make up a good portion of our total caloric intake, generally between 45 to 65%, according to healthyeating.com. Carbs are not only our body's main source of physical energy, but brain function and the operation of our organs as well. Carbohydrates begin by being converted into glucose, which is used as energy. The rest is then stored in our liver and muscles and used for later. Carbohydrates are split into simple and complex carbs. Simple carbs can be found in fruit, vegetables, as well as milk products. Complex carbs are found in foods containing a lot of starch in them, like potatoes, rice, oatmeal, as well as many other breads we eat. The last macronutrient is fat. Fats are essential for providing insulation. Fats should be limited to about 20 to 35% of your diet. It's important to keep in mind that when looking at fat content of a meal, a gram of fat contains 9 calories, which is more than double that of carbohydrates and protein. Some fats are better for us than others. Monounsaturated, unsaturated fats, and polyunsaturated fats are the good fats. Good fats are great at transitioning into energy when carbohydrates are not available. They are key in providing vitamin absorption and also help in many ways to protect your heart. These can be found in foods such as nuts, different kinds of fish, and oils. These will help lower your overall cholesterol levels and help prevent risk of cardiovascular disease. Bad fats are trans fats and saturated fats. These tend to raise your blood pressure as well as harden arteries. These fats are often listed separately on the nutritional facts located on labels of food. Next, I would like to discuss common misconceptions of the macronutrients we've covered. In today's culture, people have become preoccupied with placing too much emphasis on controlling their carb intake. While it is important when on a caloric deficit to lose weight, simply restricting carbs from your diet is not always the best way to accomplish this. If you want to have enough energy to make it through the day, or if you are spending any time in the gym, carbs are essential to maximize these results. As we already know from earlier discussion, carbs make up a majority of our caloric intake. So essentially, if you were to cut down on your carb intake, this in turn would cut into your overall caloric intake. This would be a good way to cut down on your overall food intake. However, it is important to keep sure you are consuming enough carbs to maintain a good energy source. Limiting carbs also transitions into a healthier overall diet. Many carbs you find in the store come as processed food. By limiting carbs, you tend to turn towards more organic and fresh produce. Now let's discuss a misconception with regards to protein. Many of us initially think that proteins are used for muscle growth. While protein is essential in the recovery process, this is not its only role. Protein also helps to regulate fluid balances within your body, synthesizing enzymes, and regulating antibodies against infections and blood clotting. It also serves a vital purpose in maintaining good bone structure, skin, hair, and blood. There are also downsides to taking in too much protein. It can lead to complications and overworking your liver, as well as your liver will have a difficult time processing all of this and create a buildup of toxins. Also, if excess protein is not entirely used, it is then converted into fat if you are in a caloric surplus. In conclusion, all fat is not necessarily bad for you. It is important to include fat into your diet, but make sure you are conscious of what the difference is between good fat and bad fat, as well as how much you need depending on your diet. Also, simply restricting carbs from your diet will leave you with little energy and unfocused. While limiting carbs may be a benefit from turning into alternate resources, keep carbs as an important resource in your diet. While many of us lead busy lives that may not always allow constant detailing of our nutritional intake, it helps to know what may affect us overall and try and balance that in our daily lives.